Hey guys, welcome to this week's track guide at Watkins Glen. This season with the full course layout instead of the Watkins Oval that we did last season. Still going to be pretty much a draft fest all week though, I think. Let's get into it. Okay, and the weather this week guys, 19 degrees for track and air temperature, and there's always the date and time set to what the official sessions are going to be set to this week. And onto the setup. Back to all faithful, 54% brake bias, minimum tyre pressures all around, 5 on the SPO, 8 on the anti-roll bar, and then of course 7.9 litres for Qually and 11.8 litres of fuel for the race. All the B-lap, O-lap, replay files, setup files, everything you could possibly want, all going to be uploaded to my Discord. There's an invite link in the description below, so if you're not on the Discord, please join. Okay then guys, the lap I'm going to show you this week is a 209.373. Did some testing earlier on in the week as well. This is my second test session, which is why I haven't done that many laps. Really drafty track this week, as I said guys, so definitely going to get into 208s and maybe see some 207s this week. Okay then, as we come up towards turn 1, looking for the 200 meter board here. And if we just slow it down a little bit, probably slowed it down a bit too much. Messing around on the controls. Okay, coming up towards it, we're looking at the 200 meters and the 100 meters. And just as we hit this bit of tarmac with it, where it changes color here, you can see it, it's really easy to spot. Just before it is where we're going to get off the accelerator and onto the brakes. Up to about 60% braking here, dropping the car from 5th down into 3rd gear. Now as we turn the car in, at this point, my eyes are fixed on this corner. Yeah, I tend to look around, but on this corner I find it really easy if you look where you're driving, especially as that you've got a camber of the road here. You really need to dig the car into the corner and carry as much speed through here as you can. Especially as the exit doesn't really, well, the exit does matter, but there's no off tracks on the exit of this corner. I just go to the face cam. As we come through the corner, a little bit back on the accelerator, but as you can see, if you watch this front wheel, I'm going to dig this really into the corner here, and you really need to get the line right. You want to use all of this part, this first bit of the curve you want to use where the front wheel is here. You don't want to be touching this higher bit of the curve, because you touch the higher bit of the curve, then it will throw you out to the corner. And it will kind of bounce over it, and then you'll lose time going up the next bit of the hill. As you can see, just as we hit the apex here, or just before we hit the apex, we're going to immediately back to 100% throttle, get a really good drive out of this corner. We're going to use all the exit plus some. There's no off tracks here. You can use all of this over here without getting an off track, but don't go all the way out. If you run wide if you need to. Don't brake early, or don't brake to avoid going off the track here. If you need to run out here, then run out here, as long as you don't slow down, because you really need a good drive out with this corner. But you don't want the perfect line, you don't want to be going too wide, because going too wide makes the track longer and hence you lose time. So running a little bit wide like this is okay. Just bear in mind there's no off tracks. And then you want to bring the car back onto the tarmac before you get to this grass, because if you run over this grass here, that is where the off track will happen. Okay, up the hill, we're going to stay in 4th gear. At this point, the car about here is want to go into 5th. Just keep it in 4th until we crest over the top of this hill. And delaying the shift up into 5th gear. So as we crest over the top of this hill here, we're going to go up into 5th gear. Keep the car on the inside. And then big straight down towards the chicane. Bring the car back to the left hand side of the track. Okay, down towards the chicane. Go to the cockpit. Again, I'm looking at the 200 meter board, and where the tarmac of the track changes from this light color that we're on to this darker color here. Really, I'm probably going to say this a lot doing this track guide, but you really on this track, you really want to carry as much speed through these corners and into these corners as you can, while also getting a good exit out of them. But it's really important that you don't slow down too much, because it can cost you a lot of time. Okay, as we come up towards the corner, looking at the 200 meter board, we're going to start turning in really early here, just before we get to it. I'm going to lift off the accelerator, going to tap the brakes slightly and down into 4th gear. Not very much braking needed here. And we're going to use all of this inside curb. Run over it. You're basically going to turn in. So you can see where I turn the car in here. Turn the car in. And then we're basically going to straight line it. So from this sort of point here is where you want to be going straight across this curb. And carrying as much speed and as much momentum through this as you can without losing too much. It's a good idea to keep your eye on the speed. For some reason I'm in kilometers per hour and not miles per hour. Yeah, but keep an eye on his speed. As you can see, I'm doing 160 here. I think I slowed down to about 150 or so by the time we exit the corner. But if you guys want to compare your sort of speed to mine, keep an eye on that. I just go to chase cam. You can see how much of the inside I'm using here. You can use more than this, but be careful if you use too much, you can get an off track. And then we're going to straight line it over this curb. You see, I'm feathering the throttle all the way through here. I'm keeping it at about 50%. And then back up to 100% really early. I'm a little bit wide on the exit here. It doesn't actually cost me any time. But really what you want to be doing is running over this curb. Right, go back here just to show you the full thing. So turn in all of this curb on the inside, straight line it over this curb, and then keep a constant turn on the steering wheel back to 100%. You can see the feather of the throttle here, about 50% through the chicane. I'm a little bit wide on this exit, but that's okay. Didn't cost me any time. Into 4th gear. Okay, down towards this really big right-hand turn. Pretty easy corner. Be careful on cold tires. The car can get a little bit slippery. That's okay. A little bit of a lift just to stop the car from the back end from sliding out more than anything. You see, not very much at all. I go down to about 75% there before going back to 100%. Then letting the car drift out to the left on the exit. Most important thing around that corner is to carry as much speed as you can without actually letting the back end slide away from you. Use all this curb on the exit, bringing it back on the track before you get to the grassy bit, avoiding the off track. Okay, bring the car to the right hand side of the track. Keep it in 4th gear here. As we hit this line, I'll show you that from the cockpit view. As we hit this line, off the accelerator, onto the brakes about 50%. Slowing the car down enough, down into 3rd gear. Keep tight on the inside all the way around here. Again, this corner is like the previous corner. The car can really get very slippery, the back end through here. So make sure you're not running or sliding too much, as it costs you time, obviously. But it is worse than the previous corner. If you carry too much speed into this, the back end will start to slide and you lose time. So just stick around on the inside before getting back to 100% throttle, and then use all the track on the exit. Up in the 4th gear, bring the car to the left hand side of the track. Here I'm looking at the 100 meter board. If I go to cockpit, I'm looking at the 100 meter Zippo board here. I'm sure I braked slightly before it though. Coming up towards it, yeah, just before it. I just go to chase a minute. Car chase. You can see sort of, I'm braking sort of like the 150 I would say here. But it is the 100 meter board I'm looking at. Okay, we're going to drop the car in the 3rd gear. I'm sure some people are going to like to drop the car in the second gear around here. As you guys know by now, I kind of like to leave the car in higher gears. So I leave this in third going around this corner. And as we go around, you can see I'm not on the brakes or the accelerator. It's kind of a coast around here. Until I feel confident, you know, there's a little bit of hesitation there. Where I'm kind of going back to 100% and I kind of leave it as empty, and then before going back to 100%, and then I run really wide on this exit to get a good drive down this little straight. Again, so I'm sure some people take a different line through this corner. They probably drop it a second, get on the power a little bit earlier, and keep a much tighter line around here than I do. But this is what I like to do, and then use all this on the exit. This little bit of tarmac there, without actually touching the grass. Down this straight, keeping the car on the left-hand side of the track. Could have sped this bit up. Okay, again, we're looking at the 100-meter board. Now this one, I actually do think I brake at the 100-meter board, or slightly before it. We're going to keep the car in fourth gear, and we're going to drop it down into second. Coming up towards it, 100-meter board. Just before it. Quite a heavy braking zone, about 70% here. Down into second gear. Turning the car in. Again, getting as much momentum through this corner as I can. And then just as we hit the inside of this corner, back to 100%. I don't particularly like to clip these curbs. I don't think it costs you very much time. It just unsettles the car a little bit. You can see from the chase here, I just clipped the inside. It just unsettles the car a little bit on the exit, but it doesn't cost me any time. Use all this on the exit if you have to. And then we're going to bring the car back up to fourth gear. Okay, coming up another second gear corner. Turning the car in. As we turn the car in, we're going to be off the accelerator. Probably a little bit too much brake here, 40%. You don't really need that much. As you can see, I'm trailing off it. You can sort of brake it about... I'm sure I do on other laps, brake it about 20% and hold that brake at 20% most of the way through this corner. Just carrying a little bit more speed into it. And then back on the power really early. Again, I got a problem about clipping the inside of this corner. I'm sure it costs me a little bit of time or a little bit of drive on the exit, but I seem to do it on practically every lap. Clipping the inside of this corner, you see it unsettles the car on the exit a little bit, but that's okay. All this on the exit. And then from this point on, you're not going to use any brakes. No brakes needed. Up in the fourth gear, this corner should be flat out once the tyres are warmed up on the first lap. 2 laps, maybe the first 3 laps, you may need a little bit of a lift through this corner. But from there on in, this corner should be an easy flat out. Inside, use all the curb on the exit if you have to. Bring the car immediately back to the left-hand side of the track. Again, no brakes needed for this corner. What I tend to do, I tend to lift off, coast a little bit. It's really important that you turn the car in early though. I had a problem with this corner myself where I would turn the car in a little bit too late here and take it like a normal corner, but that turning the car in later involves braking. Again, you want to carry as much momentum through this corner as you can. So I tend to not brake around here, I just turn in earlier. So turn in really early, no brakes, little bit of a coast through here, and then back to 100%. Just missed the apex there on the left. It'd be a little bit closer there, but that's okay. But you really want to get back on the power early, and then using all of this curb on the left hand side. Said that about 20 times doing this track guide, and avoiding the grass to avoid the off track, and down across the start finish line. to complete the lap. So there you have it, guys, a 209.373. Hope this helps out. If it does, please remember to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please remember to hit the subscribe too. Not on the Discord, join the Discord where all these files are. And until next week, guys, happy racing. Hopefully see you on the track.
That lap time was 209.51. Sector 3 time is quick. Litres remaining. Sector 2 was a second off your best. Last lap was at 209.37. Sector 3 time is fast.